Hello friends, so today we are going to start Unit 5, which is over linear relationships. Let's first look at the vocabulary terms. Here we have constant of proportionality, which is K. And the definition of constant of proportionality is that it is a ratio of one variable quantity to another which is proportional. Okay? An example of this would be y equals 8x, and we also have the formula right here, y equals kx. That tells us that 8 is the k. Another way to write this, or another way to write the formula that we can use to solve for constant of proportionality would be to write it as k equals y over x. Okay? Then we have slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Here is a example of a equation or slope-intercept form, y equals 8x plus 11. It's just the equation of a straight line where m is the slope of the line and b is the y-intercept. The next vocabulary term we have is rate of change or slope, which is m. Okay? The ratio of the change in y values over change in x values, okay? And the equation or the formula that we use is this. That triangle just means change in, okay? And we will, in the future, go into a little bit more about how we would use this formula to help us find the slope. Okay, for right now, we're just going to understand that the triangle means change in y and change in x, okay? All right, the last vocabulary term is initial value, the y-intercept, or in other words, the b, okay? That is the starting value, the initial value, or it is where a line crosses the y-axis. Okay, an example, here I have the y-axis on this graph, and I can see right here that I have 0, 1, okay? 1, now if we remember from 6th grade, when we have coordinate points, they are as x, comma, y, okay? X is going to be the horizontal, and y is going to be the vertical, okay? If you notice, I highlighted the vertical line, that is the y-axis, okay? So that means that the 1, because it is in the y's spot, that is going to be our y-intercept, or the initial value, okay? It crosses the y-axis. All right, let's go ahead and go to page 45, okay? Take a pause if you need to. All right, here we go. This is page 45, all right? So let's first take a look at all of this, okay? Here, I'm going to do this in a couple of different colors, and let me try this color. Okay, so first of all, I want to go ahead and label my axis, okay? Out of all of this, this is a coordinate plane, okay? This is a graph. And here, if a way to remember it is if I write C all the way through it, it's a coordinate plane, okay? All right, now here, let's go ahead and talk about the axis. If you look over here, I have an area for axis, okay? That is going to be the x-axis. That is horizontal. And I have the y-axis, that is vertical. Okay, so let's go ahead and label it on this graph. This is going to be the x-axis, and this is going to be the y-axis, okay? All right, now I want to label the quadrants, okay? Here, the one that is right here is going to be labeled as quadrant 1, okay? Then we're going to go to the left, and that's going to be quadrant 2. If we go down, this is quadrant 3, and then this last one is quadrant 4. Okay. Something that I want us to take note of so that it helps you remember what's happening whenever you are plotting points, because you have to take note of if it's positive or negative, okay? I want us to write that if we are in this section right here in quadrant 1, it is going to be positive, positive. If you're in quadrant 2, it is going to be negative, positive, because you're going to the left, which is negative. You're going to the top, or you're going up, which is positive, okay? So left is negative, right is positive, up is positive, down is negative. Okay, quadrant 3 is going to be negative, negative, and then quadrant 4 is going to be positive, negative. Okay, now that we know that, okay, I want to take a look at one more thing. Remember that our coordinate points are going to be written as X and Y, okay? I want us to take a couple of notes on how this is going to look whenever you're plotting points or trying to find the coordinates of a point, okay? The X is only ever going to go left or right. Remember, left is going to be negative and right is going to be positive, okay? The Y is only ever going to go up or down. Up is going to be positive, and then down is going to be negative, okay? I also want you to remember that the X is always going to be looked for or searched for first. That's always going to be first. And the Y is always going to be second, okay? All right. So here you can find these coordinate points on two different ways. You can either find them in a graph, like we're going to today, or you can find them in a table like we will do later on in this unit, okay? Now let's look at some vocabulary. There's one more piece that we need to make sure that we pinpoint in the graph, and that is the origin. Okay, this is a part of the vocabulary at the bottom. The origin is where the axis, axi, I can't remember how you say it in plural. The x-axis and the y-axis, where they meet, that is going to be 0, 0. This is called the origin, okay? So here, down here, I want you to write origin on the last one, okay? All right. Now we know that the x-axis is going to be the one that is horizontal and the y-axis is vertical, okay? All right, take a moment to pause and get this all down if you need to. One of the biggest things that I really want you to take away with or try to make sure that you understand is this piece, because this is what is useful when we are plotting or looking for the coordinates of a point. Okay, let's go to the next page. All right, when we are graphing, we have to remember that the coordinates are listed as X and Y. Now remember, I've already done this before, but we're going to rewrite it. X is either going to go left or right. Left is negative, right is positive. Y is either going to go up or down. Up is positive, down is negative, okay? All right, the X coordinates move either. Now, I'm going to pause right here before I start or before I continue, and I'm going to highlight, okay? I'm going to highlight either green, which is going to be positive, or I'm going to highlight pink, which is going to be negative, okay? So here, now let's continue, okay? If I am in the positives on the x-axis, okay, remember the positives is over here, then that means I'm moving to the right, okay? So x coordinate is either going to move to the right, which is going to be positive, or you're going to move to the left, which is going to be negative, okay? All right, now let's look at the y coordinates. Okay, the y coordinate is either going to move up or down, right? So if we're in the positives, that means we moved up. So here we would write up, that would be positive. And if we go down, we are in the negatives, okay? All right, let's practice a couple of points. During this day of the notes that we took in class, you had an assignment, okay? Please make sure that you got that assignment turned in. It is just a really easy, simple plotting points assignment that's kind of fun, okay? All right, let's go ahead and do some examples. Let's start with 0, 3. Let's do A. B is 5, 6. Oh, wait, I don't have 6. 5, -4. C is -3, -4. D is 2.5, comma 3. Okay. E is going to be, now this is going to be a little bit different than the notes that we took, but it's okay, no worries. Okay, then I'm going to do one more, and that's going to be, let's do 4, 0. Okay. All right. You know what? I'll do one more. 5 and -1.5. Okay. All right. So here we're going to plot these points. I want you to remember that you always start at the origin. Okay. Don't start in one quadrant. You have to start in the origin. The origin is going to be right here, okay? So I'm going to do this in a different color so that you can see. Let's do this in red. We're looking at 0, 3. So remember, let me rewrite this a little bit down so that way I can do what I'm going to do here. Okay, remember it is X, Y, and remember it is going to be left or right, or up and down, okay? All right, so looking at 0, we're either going left or right because that is the X value, and since it's at 0, we're not going anywhere. That means that all we're going to do to find, or all we're going to do is either go up or down to find where 3 is. So here, I'm going to, and I'm using my little laser pointer so I'm not leaving extra dots and it's not going to be all messy. So here, 1, 2, 3. So right here is where I need to put my dot, okay? This is going to be A. We got that one. Okay, now let's look at B. B is going to be 5 and -4. We do have an X value, so I'm going +5. That means I'm going to be in the green. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then at 5, I have to go down 4 because it's negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here is going to be B. Okay, let's look at C. We have -3, -4. So negative tells me I am going to go to the left in the pink. So I'm going 1, 2, 3. So right here. Oops, I don't put my dot there. And then at 3, from this position, I'm going to go down 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So my dot is right here. Okay, this is C. All right, let's do 2.5 and 3. So 2.5, it's not going to be on crosshairs. Here's what I call crosshairs, okay? If you're looking at where A is, it's on crosshairs. Think about it as those video games where you're, like Fortnite, you have to look in through the little aim, I don't know if any of y'all are young, or I don't know if any of y'all are all young, but I don't know if any of y'all remember or ever got to see the duck game on the Nintendo. I do. if that tells you my age. But anyways, that game had that little aim, and you could see the crosshair. Okay, this is what I'm looking at right here. Here's a crosshair, and this one lands on a crosshair. But when we do 2.5, it's not going to be on a crosshair. That one's going to be in between 2 and 3. So if I look at it, that's going to be 1, 2, here's 3. It needs to be right here. Okay, so I'm going to go to 2.5, and then it tells me that I have to go up 3. So 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be right here. This is where D is. Okay. All right, let's look at 4, 0. Again, with the X, you're either going left or right. So here we're at positive 4, so I'm going to go right 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But then the Y value says 0, so that means I'm not moving up or down. This is E. Okay, now let's look at 5 and negative 1.5. Okay, 5 tells me that I'm going to the right 5, so I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it tells me that I have to go down negative 1.5. So I'm going to 1, and remember that 0.5 says that I'm going to be in between negative 1 and negative 2. So it's going to be right here. This is F. All right, now that we've done a couple of those, let's do it to where we are trying to find the points. So here, these are by die. So let's look at die 1. Die 1 is going to be at, if I start at the origin, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way till I get here. So that is going to be negative 7. And then from negative 7, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 down to get to the die. So that would be negative 3. All right, let's do number 2. I have to go to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I have to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be negative 5. All right, 3 is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And up 1. 4 is going to be, I have to go to the left, so here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's going to be negative 6, positive 6. 5, we have to go to the left 2 times, so 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be negative 2, positive 7. The last one, we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then from 7, on that spot, I'm going to write that down. We have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. So that would be 7, 5. All right. Okay. That's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Bye, guys.